It is said that still waters run deep. This applied to silent men also. Silence in itself is a secret, and everyone who is initiate and knower of mystery prefers to remain silent. Silence is the ornament of the wise and saves the fool from being pre-exposed. There is safety in silence. If we reflect on the troubles provoked by speech, we would realize how much peacefulness is to be found in silence. The man who talks too much can't help turning his speech into a hash of truth and falsehood. He has very little time to think and does not know what to say and what is better left unsaid. The titanic masterpieces of nature are enshrouded in unbroken and abiding silence. The vast ranges of the mountains are silent. How many romances does this silence harbor? What awe is there in this stillness? How many secrets does this hush contain? Who can fathom or discern the plentiful treasures which are to be found in the bowels of the mountains? There are treasures deep within the mountains. There are treasures on the outer surface of the mountain. Even the stones of the mountains are charged with an unusual secret. All these stones are so silent, so still. At times the winds howl through this awesome stillness. The roar of the wind seems but to underscore the silence of the mountains. The deafening noise of the waterfalls as they plunge down the mountain slopes render the silence even more pronounced. When even small noises result in reverberations, the impression created by silence becomes more marked. When sounds echo across the mountains, the silences assume an even more awesome aspect. The silence of the mountains is the stillness of nature. There is a secret reason why men devoted to God chose mountains for their abode. They wanted to be close to nature, and nature usually opts for silence. The major portion of our lives is given up to silence. The day belongs to noises and commotions, while the night is a lovely tableau of silence. Men, dog-tired after the day's exhausting labor, fall silent. The birds and the beasts all quieten down. The hustle and bustle of the marketplace comes to an end, and the shuttered shops resemble so many lips, from which incoherent voices have been issuing, now locked up in silence. Voices bring each of us in contact with others, while silence introduces each man to his inner being. It is through the magical quality of voice that we attempt to convince others. To reassure one's own self is a miracle worked by silence. Life is so great a secret that it transforms those who come to know it into a secret also. The river of life flows past quietly. The presence of voices in it helps to make its quietude more profound. Life on the whole is a baffling mystery, and a mystery is always silent. If it were not silent, the secret it guards will no longer remain a secret. It is said that there was a man knocking about in the world in search of the secret of life. He asked many people about what he was searching for. No one was able to tell him anything. He became very upset. He was filled with anxiety. He began to shout and scream. Finally, having become somewhat dejected, he fell silent. One night, when silence reigned all around, he heard a voice within him say, "You fool, how can you learn about life's mystery by knocking at other people's doors? You should also have knocked at the door of your own heart." He listened to the voice which had come from within, puzzled over it, deliberated upon it. Comprehension dawned on him. We have no idea what became clear to him, but the result was that he gave up speaking. It is a strange secret indeed. It is nearer to man than his jugular vein. You do not undertake a journey in the outer world when you set out to search for the secret. What is required is a journey through the inner world. One receives the secret from the inner man, receives it in silence, and once the transfer has been effected, the recipient is made to observe silence. It is a silence for whose sake you can sacrifice your faculty of speech. The real companion and guide of a man is his own taste, aesthetic or intellectual. His real destination is his own self. To come upon the pearl of his liking, a man has only tithe in the sea of his own heart. Voice is a barrier. Silence alone is the expositor of the secret. The journey through one's inner dimensions. The journey of introversion. The journey in which you explore the world of your heart. The journey in which you plumb the depths of the heart. The journey for the sake of finding life's secret. The journey of insight and perception. The journey of visionary magnitude. The journey of seeing and finding the truth is one of silence. We are not taking a stand against the art of rhetoric. Silence is a must when one wants to discover a secret. After that, it depends on his will whether the man would be permitted to speak about his experience or would be asked to keep mum. In any case, there is no blessing like silence for man's protection. The wonders of nature manifest themselves in silence. Take the sun, for example. It never advances any arguments to prove that its light exists. Rather, the sun itself is the most convincing proof of its reality. It silently lights up the world. It does not even bother to wait for someone to come and thank it. We have said before that the religion of sun is light, and light utters no sound. Beneficence always remains silent. If you remind others of a kindly deed you have performed, your deed will cease to have any significance. The moon is silent. How charming and luminous and bright it is. What secret it holds. What enchantments flow from it. There are billions and billions of stars moving silently towards their destination. There is no noise, no tumult, no speeches are being delivered. The stars are exceedingly mysterious. They move on silently and with composure, rotating smoothly in their appointed orbits. Look at the scenes of nature, the manifestations and charms of nature, and remember that nature knows only one language, that is, the language of silence. What a spectacle it is. The entire cosmos looks on. There are wonders in the sky and divine manifestations on earth. All are silent. The expanses of the desert, its vast stretches, are silent. What a profound mystery it is. Deserts which extend far and wide in all directions. Thirsty deserts. The lips are parched but shut. These are strange sagas. The men, cause God, know the meaning of the desert's remembrance and the desert's thirst. The wastelands which appall, the wastelands which induce madness, are silent. The silence which weighs on them is total. The sea is silent. It is deep. very deep indeed. It is silent, very silent indeed. It is a very gigantic mystery. It is very quiet. There are storms at sea and a dashing of waves. True enough, but the sea is silent, very silent. We can't talk about the Creator because after all, He is the Creator. It is very difficult to say anything about Him. He talks to those He loves. He speaks to His prophets. And it is a strange conversation which takes place between them. So far as the people of the world are concerned, He, the Maker of the world, is silent, and in spite of His silence, He is being discussed, constantly mentioned, talked about, and statements are made relating to His likes and dislikes. He is silent. He is the greatest manifestation. He is the greatest mystery. And He is also the most silent. If you acknowledge Him, He remains silent. If you refuse to acknowledge Him, He remains silent. If you worship Him, He does not respond at all. If you defy Him, He does not break His silence. The Creator of silence is Himself silent. The angels are silent. The jinn are silent. But man never stops talking. He does not believe in a moment's letter. If he can't speak the truth, he would rather tell lies. He would talk in a cryptic manner, indulge in self-praise, hold forth against nature, grumble against the Creator, mention life's miseries, bowl out commotion, utter royal commands, and sing out revolution. Sometimes he speaks like a humble servant, sometimes like God Himself. He talks when he is lonely. He talks to himself when there is no one around to hear him. He questions himself, and then himself supplies the answers. He himself words divine, rewards. He himself expresses divine chastisement. Sometimes he phrases the past, sometimes the future. Man talks wisdom as well as nonsense. He never pipes down because in the ensuing silence he would have to face himself, and that is something he is not willing to do. He knows that he knows nothing, but how can he accept his ignorance? How can he admit that he is a fool, that he knows nothing, that he is nobody? What does his being matter? Of what consequence are his utterances? He is aware of his ignorance, and in spite of that, refuses to keep his mouth shut. He is aware of his benightedness, and even so, refuses to pipe down. He knows that the period prior to his birth has been one of silence, and that there would be silence again after his life is over. Even his life is full of silence. He understands everything, but is simply incapable of espousing silence. If he experiences sorrow, he wants everyone to hear about it. If he encounters joy in his life, he lets the whole world know of it. He is interested only in talking and talking, whereas the one thing that is a must for him is silence, and nothing but silence. Man is so addicted to talking that, as we can see, everyone is busy saying something or other to someone all the time, even if there are no meanings to be found in this terrible glut of words. Man jabbers on, undaunted, and as he speaks on and on a day, finally comes when he realizes that he has been uttering nothing but lies, that he has been mouthing meaningless words, and that he has used his voice to no purpose. He never spoke to his real companion. He asked nothing of him. This companion is his inner being. The silent companion meets you in silence. Oh, would that we had the courage to face ourselves in silence once at least.